From the News Channel 5 Network, this is Medical Mondays.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Medical Monday. We have a timely topic for you tonight. We are talking about Nutrition 101 with a registered dietitian. I want to introduce you to her right now. Amanda Arnold, thank you for being here.
Thanks so much for having me, Kathy.
This is a fantastic time to get started on this topic because the holidays are coming up. We're all going to overeat. That's just the way it goes with holidays. For as long as I have been alive, it's happened every year. I imagine it's that way with everybody else.
Absolutely.
But if we turn our mind to nutrition and doing right for our body, at this point, when we still have a couple of weeks, we're a couple of weeks out, maybe we can do a little bit better this year.
A little pre-planning, a little game plan, if you will. Yep.
Let's talk big picture, though. And before we get started, I should say, this is a call-in show. We want your questions. So go ahead and give us a call. Our producer, Taylor's in the back. He's ready to take those phone calls and get them lined up. 615-737-PLUS is the number to call. Again, 615-737-PLUS. So go ahead and give us a call. In the meantime, I'll do a few asking you the questions. I do want to talk big game plan when it comes to nutrition.
Absolutely.
You are with a group called the Pain Management Group. I know there are several offices around the mid-state. So when people come in dealing with pain, why bring in a registered dietitian?
Absolutely. So when we're talking about pain management, we're talking about knee pain, hip pain, everything from back pain. And the reason that Pain Management Group brought me on was because they noticed with a lot of their patients who had chronic diseases such as obesity, diabetes, that the physicians and nurse practitioners at Pain Management Group could not, within the time frame they have, truly give patients nutrition, diet, counseling. And so they brought me in to talk with a lot of patients about weight management, diabetes control, blood sugars, a lot of the nutritional choices we make on a day-to-day basis, not just holiday seasons, really have a true impact, a long-term impact on how our bodies perform for us. And the saying goes, garbage in, garbage out. If we nourish our bodies and feed our bodies with whole foods, fruits and vegetables, whole grains, our bodies are going to respond to that, reducing inflammation, which therefore reduces pain, as well with things like back pain, knee pain. If you're 40 pounds overweight, every pound of body weight that you have extra puts about 4 pounds of pressure on a joint.
Really?
So if you imagine just a 10-pound over that's 40 pounds of pressure. Imagine picking up a 45-pound dumbbell at the gym and then all of a sudden putting that down, that relief you would feel on a back joint, a knee joint. So that's a lot of what I bring to the table is nutrition counseling and helping patients understand not only how their food choices affect their body, but how they also affect their life and their overall health as well.
You said an interesting word that some other of the doctors have talked about on this show when it comes to treating chronic illnesses or even illnesses like dementia and Alzheimer's, inflammation within the body. So we're not talking about you sprain your knee, you have a swollen knee.
Right.
Talk about what inflammation in the body really is, what causes it.
Sure. So inflammation is a lot of times caused by something that's not supposed to be there, whether it be a sprained ankle. It's the body's way of protecting itself in an acute or short-term phase. So inflammation, when you roll your ankle, it's a good thing because the body's protecting the joints, it's protecting the ligaments from further damage. The problem comes when it becomes a chronic issue, weeks, months, years, and that inflammation, whether it's caused from a back injury, whether it's caused from eating at a fast food joint 2 times a day, every single day, that inflammation can actually cause further damage to the body, arthritis. It can even cause damage to the nerves, to how the body receives hormones and processes the foods that we give it. And so inflammation, when we're talking about chronic disease, is a major contributor to things like obesity. That's definitely not the cause, but it's one of those side effects that we get. And so food and the types of foods we eat, we can make choices for food that cause inflammation in our body, high fat, you know, very high sugar, or we can make food choices and beverage choices too that are healing and can reduce that inflammation in our body.
I heard in a story the other day, I think that Nightly News ran, that said 1 soda a day, like 1 Coke a day, over a year is like 52 pounds of sugar that you're putting in your body.
Absolutely.
Something crazy like that.
Absolutely. And that's one of, I think, the biggest things I see. And I don't know if it's a Southern thing or just it's hot in the South, but out of every 10 patients, I would say 8 out of 10 patients are drinking at least a 12-ounce soda a day. And when you look at a can of Coke contains around 200 calories. And I've had patients come in and tell me, oh, I drink a 12-pack a day, no problem.
Wow.
And when you look at the calories from that, and when we talk about calories, you can have a calorie from something like, you know, a green salad with some grilled chicken on top. And you can also have calories from the beverages you consume. And so not only on top of excessive calories, which causes weight gain, you're getting all that extra sugar. And there's been some research studies that have shown that the amount of sugar we intake as Americans from sugar sweetened beverages or, you know, processed sweets, it contributes to not only the obesity epidemic, but also diabetes, heart disease. And so when you talk about sodas, that's one of my main issues that I do try and educate patients about. Because I was amazed in my first 3 months working at Pain Management Group that patients didn't realize what their beverages were doing.
It sounds pretty easy to give up your soda. But
you would think it's not.
So how do you get people to at least, you know, cut back a bit and then maybe get to that break-even point?
So I do surprisingly get a lot of resistance from patients to give up sodas, because I will also hear too, you know, along the same lines of, well, I'm drinking a 12-pack a day. But the other thing I hear is, I hate water. I don't like the taste of water. And in my head I'm thinking, well, wait a second, water doesn't have a taste. But they're so used to and so accustomed to the high sugar content of water that, and of course some patients are on well water. The water actually doesn't taste good. And so a lot of times what I'll do is, instead of throwing the book at a patient and saying, stop drinking soda, I will use nutrition counseling. So I'll ask a patient questions. Hey, what do you think that soda is doing to your body? What do you think your body's doing with those extra calories? How do you feel after you drink a soda? And once they start to, and a lot of patients are honestly uncomfortable with that approach because they're not used to the healthcare provider asking them questions and making them think. And so, but once they kind of start to get into the rhythm of things, they really start to realize, oh, okay, this isn't that good for me. And a lot of times I'll hear, hey, if that's what I've got to do to lose weight, I'll stop right now. And a lot of times too, what I'll do is I'll offer other suggestions. So I would never promote diet soda over water. But if it's the lesser of two evils and a means to kind of, I use the word wean them off of soda, and have them start drinking more, you know, calorie-free beverages like a sparkling water or something like that, something that has the fizz but also still has the taste as well. So it's I find that it's a give and take a bit of, hey, I'm willing to do this. All right, I'll meet you in the middle, and it's behavior change, and it takes time. It takes time.
You know, when I said you're a registered dietitian, and I know people heard the diet part of that and went,
of course.
One of those.
Yes.
Diet, that's what we're going to talk about for an hour. And we've really got to flip the script on that, because it doesn't mean you can't have.
Of course,
you think
never.
Diet.
Never.
And I know that's not what you preach.
No, I actually tell my patients I hate the word diet, because diet entails to me, okay, we're going to do something very strict for a short period of time. And sure, you're going to see maybe weight loss, maybe reduced blood sugars, a little bit more of a healthier lifestyle, but you're doing something that's not realistic to keep for a long period of time. And so what happens when, you know, that 3 months is over is you go right back to the behaviors you had at the beginning, and all that weight comes back on. So a lot of what I do preach to patients is behavior change, right? We're taking behaviors that you've developed over years, and we're trying to reverse them, get rid of them, and then create new, healthier habits. And so when one of the questions I ask patients is, hey, have you been on any diets? What have you tried in the past? And I hear everything from Weight Watchers to the grapefruit diet to I'm going on the water diet. And so just to know what they've been through, and kind of to take down that barrier of, you know, oh, you're the dietitian, right? You're going to tell me.
You're no fun.
Exactly. You're the food police. But to kind of just gain their trust in, hey, I'm not going to make you change anything you're not ready to change, because I can't do that. I can't go home with you and hold your hand and smack your hand when you go for the cookie. But I hope to equip the people that I see to go home and make those smart choices for themselves, because that's really, you know, a lot of patients will ask me, well, just tell me what to do. Well, sure, I could do that, but it's not going to set you up for long-term success.
Okay. When we come back, I want to talk about more food crutches that you see in your patients every day. And we'll get into the holiday eating and how to pre-plan that so we don't put on a bunch of weight before January 1st.
Of course.
So stay with us, and don't forget, we are taking your phone call. 615-737+ is the number to call. If we get any, we will answer those just as soon as we come back. Stay with us.